internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world.
XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over SWIFT one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. You guys remember Michael Higgins?
Our Bank of New York custodies $50 trillion of assets. It's $50 trillion, and they haven't even started in the crypto side.
The CEO of Hidden Road. Well, today's episode 2. It's a day late, but this one is going to completely blow your mind. Do you remember when they said that they've got 20 times more balance sheet demand than supply? Let that marinate for a moment. Hedge funds, macro desks, the big boy FX shops, everyone's screaming for credit. But there's a problem. Traditional prime brokers are tapped out. And the legacy rails creak like a 1970s dial-up modem. And Higgins isn't asking whether there's a liquidity crunch. He's staring the camera down and asking, where's the capital gonna come from? Who's crazy enough to extend third-party credit at global scale? Q, Ripple, Q, Higgins, mic drop. Listen to this very carefully and we're gonna connect some dots.
Moving on to solving the liquidity problem, I'm super keen to hear this panel and what solutions are there. In my experience, a good way to do this is to allow third-party credit to come in through leverage and intermediaries like you have in the TradFi space. To do that, the scale issues we talked about earlier need to really be addressed. What PB and credit providers cannot do is do that in the absence of true transparency and segregation options. Absent putting those things in place, unfortunately, I think there'll be little capital that can enter the market. And so this begs the question for that panel of where is this capital coming from? Who are these credit providers? And is this an area where we'll see innovation, and evolution of new solutions? Now, I know at Hidden Road, we certainly believe credit is ripe for disruption and innovation. Most people think about the banks, but the banks have a number of hurdles for touching crypto, as it's currently 100% RWA haircut or risk-weighted asset haircut under Basel III. And so that crushes any economic incentive for the banks to come in and provide credit.
So February 2025, they're talking about demand and supply. And then April 8th, 2025, you have Ripple coming out and buying Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. Remember, that is the biggest transaction in crypto history. This wasn't a coincidence. That was a pre-planned carpet bombing of liquidity that we are going to see flood into this ecosystem. And banks are going to be utilizing XRP 100%. They're going to be buying it. It even says it right here under Ripple's press release. We'll get to that in a moment. And don't forget, the BIS even told you guys this, okay, that FX is going to be a problem, but they do have a solution. The trust bridge and money flows. Listen here very carefully. When I say currency C is going to be XRP. And in terms of extensions and further considerations, this is important stuff. Everything is being documented. However, another model is for the marketplaces to gravitate towards trading fewer currency pairs. For instance, a third currency, C currency, could become a vehicle currency on the marketplace. In this case, person I, myself, would trade a currency. I would take my USD currency and then swap it for the C currency, which is going to be XRP, through one market maker, which would then turn to another market maker to trade my C currency, which is XRP, so it's not mine, it's A currency is mine, C currency is going to be XRP, and then B currency is going to be my off-ramp, is going to be, let's say, the yen, right? So I would trade my A currency, USD, for a C currency, which is called XRP in our case study. And then the off-ramp, the C currency, will be converted into the B currency, which is going to be the yen. The additional step would occur on the marketplace and could reduce overall costs by trading more liquid currency pairs, okay? And this video, if you're not mind blown yet, is only going to get even more insane. Because remember, Ripple's line of credit announcement back on October 8th, 2020, most people skimmed the headline and went back to TikTok, right? That's usually how it is. But the fine print was the tell. I'm going to read it very quickly here. First, this is not the bomb, this is not the mic drop. Ripple's line of credit solves this problem for our customers by providing upfront access to capital for every market through one simple credit arrangement, simplifying access to financial solutions that accelerate business performance and scale. This is back from 2020. So things may have changed internally in terms of how they're going to proceed with the line of credit. Different sort of financial products can be and could have been being designed right now. There's a lot that we don't know yet. There's a lot. I'm telling you that because I've worked in the bank for 10 years and we know news way before retail gets to know. I know that for a fact. And 2025, if you have been following me since 2020, it's ladies and gentlemen, I mean, there's really nothing to say. We've been on the money for every single thing. And anybody that leaves negative comments, they're just morons. I don't even know why I address haters anymore, but it's just so annoying that people can't understand this and they actually leave a comment that, whoever leaves a negative comment, I always say this, they're truly dumb. Like this is so much valuable information that only a few really, really understand, right? But take a look at this right here. Line of credit is only for use by eligible institutional RippleNet customers and not by consumers, retail customers, or the general public. Availability varies by jurisdiction and is subject to change. The line of credit is treated as a form of payment to finance a purchase of XRP and is not a lease or a loan of XRP for tax purposes. That is insane. That is insane. So what they're going to be doing, okay, pretty much Ripple extends their USD credit and then institutions draws and then Ripple sells them a fresh batch of XRP. And imagine doing this at scale now. Institutions use XRP then to do their cross-border payments, settles, and they repay Ripple later. So that is why liquidity still on just one avenue from one perspective has to be deep. So that means that institutions buy XRP even if they only warehouse it for minutes. But imagine this on a mega scale, right? Utility demand goes vertical. You have circulating supply tightens. And I mean, you know what's going to happen to the price, right?
There is, relatively speaking, leaving forks aside, there's relatively speaking fixed supply and you have increasing demand. And when endowments and institutions, Joey and I sat in a meeting not that long ago with, some of the largest institutional money in the world trying to get smart about crypto. They owned zero on that day. I don't know if they do today. But as they enter the market, you have fixed supply, increasing demand. You don't have to go to MIT to know what's going to happen.
Why is this evolutionary and revolutionary? It's very, very important for you guys to understand this part, right? I mean, even Higgins said it himself.
An evolution of new solutions.
Evolutionary because prime brokers have always extended credit, but never at internet speed across fiat. This is going to be the first time. You have FX, treasuries, and digital assets all in one line item. Revolutionary because Ripple just stapled a fully regulated digital asset balance sheet. Think about that, $3 trillion annually, to back of that credit cannon. No pre-funding, no stranded capital. My goodness. And it's funny because Higgins asked, where's the capital going to come from? And you got Brock Garlinghouse kicking the door off the hinges and screaming, right here, pal. Right here. If you're still debating whether XRP can move big money, or if you're debating if XRP is the right choice and why hasn't the value of XRP gone up, the value of XRP hasn't gone up because there's a bigger plan behind it. This is a collaborative effort on a nationwide, worldwide stage where it needs to be done right the first go around. A lot of people don't see it, but they will only understand it when the value of XRP spikes. Remember, history doesn't wait, and neither should you. So let me know what your thoughts are in the comments down below. And I want to share something very monumental that is happening within Salute right now. And if you guys want to click off the video, go for it. But I recommend you don't, because we have an opportunity as a community to really set the standard and lead by example in this meme ecosystem. And we could all do this if we all come together and create our network of trust. I'm going to go over this very, very briefly. There's a lot of updates. There's a lot of stuff that's happening behind the scenes that we are going to be implementing. And we are going to position ourselves right before these financial institutions come. As you guys know, a lot of people get scared of the supply control of Salute, but that is just for market stability and investor protection, okay? The fact that I myself is hanging on 70% of the supply is a good thing. The individuals that like pump and dumps think it's bad because they're so used to being dumped on. There is 6.3% held by, again, everything lead art director, right? You could follow them on Instagram. You guys could see it. And then we have the circulating supply amongst the holders. We are bringing transparency to the meme ecosystem that no one has ever done before. We as a community could create something here so monumental, and I'm going to do an in-depth video on this that is going to completely blow your mind. We are taking this and doing it the right way. For example, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, right, came out and put tiers to crypto. Tier 1 and Tier 2 capital instruments for banks. This is if banks could touch them. I'm not saying banks are going to be utilizing SLT anytime soon, but if we follow the rules, if we build our liquidity, we, ladies and gentlemen, could create $1 billion empire. As much as it sounds crazy, trust me, it is not crazy at all. And yesterday, Salute, actually, let me bring it over. It's on this side of my computer here. We released our first ever responding to that report, strategic positioning report in response to mass prudential consultation 2025. Okay, so here we have Salute. I'm going to go over this pretty quick. I'll leave a link in the description down below. You could take a look. We have the contents, right? I'm going to skip over this. We have executive summary. I suggest you go read this because we could do this together and we could see results in real time. We could see the charts. And if we achieve what we could do here, oh my guys, I don't think you guys understand how big this is. Please go ahead and take a second to read this PDF. But I'm going to go ahead and read the strategic positioning here on what we're doing with SLT. And remember, I'm not like my banking experience all being applied here. Hence why I went balls deep with crypto, because I knew the same thing they do with banking is going to translate to crypto. And it's happening right now. It's everything that I've said. Again, it may sound like I'm stroking my own ego, but I'm not. And some of you guys said the same thing too. Everything we've been talking about is right. You know, it's going to happen. But listen to this. So we got Group A, tokenized traditional assets, tokenized bonds, for example. We have Group B, fully backed stablecoins, USDC, RLUSD. And then you have Group 2. You have, Bitcoin, Ethereum, meme coins. Salute, as of today, is classified as a Group 2 crypto asset. However, by developing liquidity pairs with RLUSD and maintaining transparent, auditable reserves, Salute can position itself, right, to become a Group 1B liquidity, minimizing the perceived risk over time. It's like we're trying to create something here that nobody has ever created before, and that is why we really could change the game forever. No one's done this ever again. Talking about full reserve, transparent, auditable reserves, right? No one's doing this on a level that we are. And I will lead the way. We could do this. We could blow this bad boy up, right? And then here we have our planned phases in the near future. So we're going to grow the community. Remember what I've talked about, education. Educate us. Educate users on liquidity, transparency, and SLT value. Open SLT or LUSD pools. And then stabilization is that's where it's going to be the crucial part. Build deep liquidity paired with RLUSD. Increased real yield offering for SLT holders via DEXs. And then this is just post 2026, right? Just to give you the short-term vision. Integrate with wider XRPL DeFi applications. Explore regulatory light pathways to reduce Group 2 exposure. Position Salute as a legacy XRPL community asset. And we can do this, ladies and gentlemen. We could do this. And why Salute over others? Most meme projects are driven by hype, hidden supply dumps. Salute is different. You guys know that. A transparent, auditable, community-driven token engineered to work with future regulation, not against them. We're building a real transparent financial product here that could survive not just bull runs, but the institutional era of blockchain. And this is step one. Welcome to the foundation that we are trying to create. And that is a network of trust, ladies and gentlemen. So I really hope that gives you some intel. Please go ahead and download you don't need to download it. It's one click away. Read the white paper, please. Please trust me. What we could do something here is just monumental. So I'm going to end off the video here. I do appreciate every single one of you guys. And we will be back with another video. And I just want to cue one thing in here. There's a lot of individuals that just joined me maybe 6 months ago, 1 year ago. I don't want to hear you say a word about SLT, okay, at all, because this is built off of transparency and trust, and this is what we have created within the community of 24 Hours Crypto. So the new ones that haven't followed me religiously, you don't even know my vibe. You don't know the accuracy of the information that we have presented. So whoever has joined me 6 months or maybe, watches me casually and wants to make a remark about SLT, all I want to say, and I really want this to hit you, go fuck yourself. Because at the end of the day, who are you? Who are you to tell me and tell our community that something is trash, something is, people are just, my goodness. You guys gotta, you do understand that what we're trying to do here, no one's ever done this before. No one has ever done this before. So if we could set the standard, lead by example, do you know how many doors are going to open up, right? If another meme ecosystem or another meme coin comes and they look at our website, we got a report. Our official response to the Monetary Authority of Singapore consultation on the prudential treatment of crypto asset exposure. This is important stuff, right? Because the report outlines how Salute is positioned under the proposed MAS and Basel III regulatory frameworks. Basel III, it's very important for you guys to understand, and even Higgins brought it up.
Got a risk-weighted asset haircut under Basel III.
We have to align ourselves for that. No one's doing this. And guess what? Time will settle everything. Time will reveal everything. And we're just getting started. So if you guys want to be a part of the journey, the link is in the description down below, how to get involved. Join the Telegram. There's a how to buy. There's the on-ramping is going to be much faster. We got new stuff coming out. Stay tuned. I do appreciate every single one of you guys, and we'll be back with another video.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute, where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute, to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. Salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.